Hello everyone, my name is John Bussart. I'm an HPE Business Transformation Center engineer for Ingram Micro. I help support HPE servers, blade systems, storage, as well as networking technology solutions. In my videos, what I like to do is show you a slide from a popular PowerPoint and then demonstrate to you what that means within the management context. So today we're going to do something different. I actually have a couple things in mind. What I want to do is do an unboxing of an Aruba 700 series access point. These are Wi-Fi 7 capable access points. And then I want to show you how to register it up with Aruba Central, their cloud-based management platform. So in particular, we're going to do the unboxing of the 735 access point. The 5 on the end of that number signifies that it has internal antennas. If it was a 734, it would have the connections for external antennas. So whenever you see a 5, think internal antennas. Whenever you see a 4, think there are connections for external antennas. Now the 760, or the access points with that in that series, have the ability to go indoor or outdoor. So we have the ability to take Wi-Fi in a great many places, because this certainly does support hazardous locations. So Wi-Fi anywhere, if you will. Now as we move this across this chart, quite obviously we're going to get access points that have more performance with them, more spatial streams, as well as better client density within an environment. Like I had mentioned, these are all Wi-Fi 7 capable access points, and there have been many advancements within the technology, so this is a great way to future-proof your environment as clients become Wi-Fi 7 capable. So some of those advancements are multi-link operation, or what most people will call MLO. Right, with previous versions of Wi-Fi, when a client connected, they could only really connect to one band, and that was either 2.4, 5, or more recently 6 gigahertz. MLO allows devices to simultaneously transmit as well as receive data across multiple bands. Right, so this dramatically reduces latency and increases reliability within an environment. With Wi-Fi 7, we have the ability to expand out to 320 megahertz channel widths on the 6 gigahertz band. Right, so obviously if you need the most in performance, you'd want to take advantage of that, but obviously that's going to take up more of your channels within your environment, so keep in mind that. There's also the ability to do 4K QAM, and this is an upgrade from 1K QAM we found in Wi-Fi 6. This allows each signal to carry 12 bits of information instead of 10 bits. And this, what they're saying is this results in roughly a 20% increase in peak data rates. So obviously this is Wi-Fi, and your mileage will vary. There's also preamble puncturing. In older versions of Wi-Fi, if a small part of the channel had interference, the entire channel became unusable. Puncturing allows Wi-Fi 7 to block off only the noisy parts and to continue using the rest of the spectrum within the environment. Right, so those are some of the capabilities that are available. So let's go over and let's start off with the unboxing of our 735s. All right, so let's go through the process of unboxing our Aruba AP735 access point. I have this access point right over here. So I not only have the access point itself, but I also have the mounting kit as well. And this will be a wall mount and a ceiling mounting kit. But we'll take a look at that. Let me set that aside. All right, so let's actually unbox this guy. So let's flip this over. You can see it's sealed. Slice that open. Flip it over. Take a look at the inside. So what do we have here? Up top, let's see what we've got. We've got the safety, compliance, and warranty information. Here we have the installation, configuration, and safety guide. All right, so it's pretty small writing in here. I would say probably what you'd want to do is go up to the HPE website and actually download the PDF for any of these documentation. And then here we have the HPE Aruba Networking 730 series campus access point startup guide. This actually folds out, so it's a little bit easier to read. But again, I think I would go out and download the PDF on this stuff if you need it. And then here's our access point, so let's pull this on out. Set the box aside. Get this guy on out. We've got the ever satisfying peel off seal, so why don't we do that? Alright, so on the bottom of this access point are 4 LEDs. We've got one that's labeled SYS or system. That'd be power LED, and each one of these LEDs is for the radios. This is labeled 2 gigahertz, so obviously that's 2.4 gigahertz. This one says 5 gigahertz, and this one over here says 6 gigahertz. Now if we take this access point and we look at this side of it, we can see we have a couple USB ports. They're USB-A ports. They support the USB 2.0 standard, and they're compatible with the select cellular modems as well as some other peripherals that are out there. When active, they can support up to 10 watts and 2 amps of combined power. So that's across both of these USB ports for these different devices. Now if I turn it to the side, up here, up here, we're going to have a Kensington lock, so if you have those security needs, that is available. Over here are 2 Ethernet ports. They support 1 gig, 2.5 gig, as well as 5 gig throughput. They are base T auto sensing. Of course, they're MDI, MDIX. Both of them support PoE in up to 802.3 BT power over Ethernet or PoE. Right, and obviously, if you don't have that, you can combine the power to give this access point the right amount of power that you need to be able to operate it. I think it's important to note that this access point has a GNSS receiver that allows you to calculate its precise geographic location. So that not only includes latitude and longitude, it also includes altitude. So this is nice when you have a multi-floor building, so you can actually tell what floor these access points sit on. There's also another couple radios inside this that will support BLE or Bluetooth, as well as Zigbee radio. Over here is obviously the very important reset button, where we've all probably put a paper clip in to reset something. The nice thing about this is, even though you reset it, if this can get a DHCP address that goes out to Aruba Central, it'll re-get its configuration from Aruba Central. So that's kind of handy. Over here is a console port. It is a micro USB port that you can connect directly into your laptop or whatnot and use something like PuTTY to be able to get a serial connection into this and maybe look at the config file if you needed to do so. Over here is DC in. Right, it's labeled at 12 volt at 3 amp. Looks like it's center positive from this little diagram. So you do have that ability if you don't have PoE in over here. And in the center here would be your mounting rail. Alright, so something's going to slide in here. So this is probably a good time to actually look at the mounting kit that we have available. So let me push this up a little bit. And let's take a look at our mounting kit. So let's open this guy up. Again, we've got an installation guide. You can see this is an AP-MNT-U for Universal Mount Kit. And again, this will open up. And again, I think I found a better PDF guide for this mounting kit up on HPE's site. Now there's 3 pieces in this. there is this piece itself which slides into the access point over here. And I'll show you that in a little bit. And then there's the two different mounting options. So this is for if you have ceiling tiles, and this will connect to the ribs. Right, so this collapses as well as expands. Kind of connect into those. Underneath, it has these 4 dots which connect in over here and allow you to lock this in place. Now, before we look at that, we look at what's underneath here. And this would be the wall mount kit. Again, we have these 4 dots over here. So the idea is, what you would do is take this piece, pull this little tab out, and it'll slide back, and it'll fit in here, and then you can push back in over here, and it locks into place. So that's pretty solid. And to loosen it, you'd pull back out. So the idea is you set this up first on the ceiling, and then you could slide in your access point. All right, so I'm going to take this, we're going to set this aside a little bit. Let's show you how this kind of mounts here. And again, so you get that all set up, and then you slide in your access point. And you pull back. You can lock it in place. There's a screw here to screw it down if you wanted to do that. Right, but again, this was the ceiling mount for the ribs. But you get this all in place, and then you'd slide in your access point. Okay, and then screw it down if you wanted to. That's in there pretty tight. Alright, so this is our HP 735 access point. This is a Wi-Fi 7 access point, or what we officially know as IEEE 802.11be. So why don't we take and register this access point up with Aruba Central or the Green Lake platform. All right, so we're going to register our access point up within the Green Lake platform. We're going to do that through device inventory over here. And then we're going to click Add a Device. And then we can select other things, but we're going to want to select networking devices. Click Next. Now, there's a couple different ways we could enter in our information, and we will need a serial number as well as the MAC address of the device. But we could put them in manually as I'm doing here. But we could also add them through a CSV file, and again, you'll need both of these attributes in there in order to be able to do that. Now we could add multiple access points through this interface at the same time, or again, we can use that CSV file. I'm going to click Add, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and then I'm going to click Next. I can assign a tag if I want to this. I don't necessarily need to. I can also add a location for when, if I need to get a replacement for this device. I'm going to click Next again. And we're going to review the information. I'm going to finish. And we get this little message about adding my device to my inventory. And now what we're going to need to do is actually assign a subscription to this guy. So why don't we go through that. I'm going to filter this down so we can just see access points here. All right, there's my access point. I'm going to click Apply a Subscription. I'm going to apply a subscription again, and we're going to select our tier. This time I think I'm going to use Advanced AP. I'm going to select our device and apply that subscription. All right, and this is similar for other devices that you bring up into the Green Lake platform. We can review the audit log if you felt like it. And we'll just go back to the Green Lake platform. So at this point, this should be within HPE's Aruba Central Networking, or Aruba Central as a lot of us call it. So why don't we go take a look inside there and see that it does exist. And obviously this is new Aruba Central. I do plan to do some videos on this. We're going to go down to device inventory, and we are going to actually assign
And we'll select campus access point. So we have it in there. And that should be everything. Now we do have to assign it a site at some point, but I think this is going to be the end of our video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned for more videos.